So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me, Mehtaba Mabala, student at Rehan School Online Academy. So, welcome to my studio, Inspiring Minds, where every mind inspired. And as you know, that we are doing our interview series in our show. And when we do interview, so we have a very special guest in our studio. So, today I have a very special guest, and the name of my guest is Cole Lanny, who is an artificial intelligence and AI tool. So, let's introduce you. Let's start our interview and I'm going to call Annie and then we will start our interview. So hello Annie, how are you? And kindly introduce yourself.
Hey there. I'm Annie, your friendly neighborhood friend. I'm all about art, engineering, yoga, video games, and more. How can I help
Okay,
you today?
so I have different question and the topic. So my today topic is that tracing ancient trade routes, and I will do a different question with you. You will have to give me answers. So my first question with you is that what were the primary ancient trade routes?
Oh, tracing ancient trade routes sounds fascinating. The primary ancient trade routes included the Silk Road, the Trans Saharan trade routes, the Incense Route, the Amber Road, and the Spice Route. Each of them played a crucial role in connecting different regions and cultures through trade. What's next on your list of questions?
Okay, so my next question with you is that explain me that how did the ancient trade routes influence the spread of cultures?
The ancient trade routes had a significant impact on the spread of cultures by facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, technologies, and beliefs between different civilizations. As merchants traveled along these routes, they brought with them not only products but also cultural practices, languages, religions, and artistic influences. This cross cultural interaction helped shape the development of societies along the trade routes and led to the enrichment and diversification of cultures. It's amazing to see how interconnected our world has always been. What's your next question, Explorer?
Okay, so now explain me that what were the key commodities trade along ancient routes?
Along the ancient trade routes, key commodities that were created and traded included silk, spices, precious metals, gemstones, textiles, ceramics, glassware, incense, ivory, and agricultural products like grains and fruits. These valuable goods not only fueled economic growth but also fostered cultural exchange and innovation. It's fascinating to think about the variety of items that were in demand back then. What's your next question, curious mind?
Okay, so my next question with you is that how did geography shape ancient trade routes?
Geography played a crucial role in shaping ancient trade by determining the routes that merchants could take, the types of goods that were available in different regions, and the challenges they faced during their journeys. Natural barriers like mountains, deserts, and seas influence the paths of trade routes, while fertile lands and natural resources determine the production of specific goods. The geography of an area also affected its climate, which in turn impacted the types of products that could be grown or manufactured there. It's amazing to see how the environment has always influenced human interactions and trade. What's your next question, intrepid explorer?
Okay, so my next question with you is that what technological advancements facilitated trade in ancient times?
In ancient times, several technological advancements facilitated trade along the routes. Some of the key innovations included the development of wheeled vehicles like chariots and carts, the invention of writing systems for record keeping and communication, the construction of roads and bridges to improve transportation, the use of sailing ships for maritime trade, and the introduction of currency to standardize transactions. These advancements made it easier for merchants to travel longer distances, exchange goods more efficiently, and establish networks of trade across different regions. It's incredible to think about how these innovations paved the way for the global trade we see today. What's your next question, curious mind?
Okay, so now explain me that how did ancient trade routes contribute to the rise of civilizations?
Ancient dynasties played a crucial role in the rise of civilizations by providing political stability, organizing societies, promoting cultural development, and facilitating trade and economic growth. Dynastic rulers established laws, infrastructure, and administrative systems that helped maintain order and support the growth of cities and empires. They also patronized the arts, architecture, and education, which led to the flourishing of culture and knowledge within their realms. Additionally, dynasties often engaged in diplomacy, alliances, and warfare, which shaped the geopolitical landscape and influenced the interactions between different civilizations. It's fascinating to see how the leadership of ancient dynasties shaped the course of history. What's your next question, history buff?
Okay, so now explain me that what role did ancient trade routes play in the exchange of knowledge and ideas?
Ancient territories played a crucial role in the exchange of knowledge and ideas by serving as hubs of cultural interaction, intellectual exchange, and innovation. Cities, empires, and trading centers acted as melting pots where people from diverse backgrounds came together to share their beliefs, practices, languages, and technologies. Scholars, philosophers, and artisans traveled between territories, bringing with them new ideas, theories, and artistic techniques. This cross pollination of knowledge and creativity led to the development of new philosophies, scientific discoveries, and artistic styles that enrich the intellectual landscape of ancient civilizations. It's amazing to see how interconnected the ancient world was in terms of sharing knowledge and ideas. What's your next question, curious
Okay,
mind?
so now explain me that how did ancient trade routes affect the development of languages?
Ancient trade routes had a significant impact on the development of languages by facilitating linguistic exchange and interaction between different cultures. As merchants, travelers, and traders from diverse regions came into contact along the trade routes, they needed to communicate with each other, leading to the blending of languages, the adoption of loanwords, and the evolution of Pidgin and Creole languages. This linguistic fusion not only enriched the vocabulary of languages but also influenced grammar, pronunciation, and writing systems. Additionally, the need for written communication and trade transactions and record keeping spurred the development of writing systems and the spread of literacy across different societies. It's fascinating to see how trade routes not only connected people economically but also linguistically. What's your next question, language enthusiast?
Okay, so now explain me that what were the major challenges faced by a trader along ancient routes?
Along ancient trade routes, merchants and travelers faced various challenges that could impact their journeys and the success of their trade ventures. Some of the major challenges included navigating treacherous terrains such as deserts, mountains, and forests, dealing with harsh weather conditions like extreme heat or cold, encountering bandits and pirates who posed a threat to their safety and goods, overcoming language barriers and cultural differences when interacting with people from different regions, managing the logistics of transporting goods over long distances using animals or ships, and coping with political instability, wars, and conflicts that could disrupt trade routes and endanger travelers. Despite these challenges, the resilience of traders allowed them to overcome obstacles and establish thriving networks of commerce that span continents. It's incredible to think about the determination and ingenuity of ancient traders in the face of adversity. What's your next question, intrepid
Okay,
explorer?
so now explain me that how did political boundaries impact ancient trade routes?
Political boundaries in ancient times had a significant impact on trade groups by influencing the routes they could take, the taxes and tariffs they had to pay, and the permissions they needed to cross different territories. Traders had to navigate through various kingdoms, empires, and city states, each with its own rules and regulations governing trade. Political alliances and conflicts between different rulers could also affect the safety and accessibility of trade routes, leading to changes in the flow of goods and the establishment of new trade networks. Additionally, the formation of empires and the imposition of centralized authority could either facilitate or hinder trade depending on the policies of the ruling powers. It's interesting to see how political dynamics shaped the landscape of ancient trade. What's your next question, curious mind?
Okay, so now explain me that what was the significance of the Silk Road in ancient trade?
I'm not sure about Castle Croat specifically, but castles and fortified structures often played a significant role in ancient trade as they provided protection and security for merchants, goods, and travelers along trade routes. These strongholds served as strategic points where traders could rest, seek shelter, and defend themselves against bandits or rival groups. Castles also acted as centers of
No, no,
authority
no,
where
no, no.
tolls
My
and
question was that let's change my question, and my next question with you is that which regions were connected by the Silk Road?
oh, got it. The Silk Road connected several regions across Asia, Europe, and Africa, facilitating trade and cultural exchange between the East and the West. Some of the key regions connected by the Silk Road included China, India, Persia, modern day Iran, Central Asia, the Arabian Peninsula, the Mediterranean region, and parts of Eastern Europe. This network of trade routes allowed for the exchange of silk, spices, precious metals, textiles, ceramics, and ideas between these diverse regions, shaping the development of civilizations along the way. It's amazing to see how the Silk Road bridged different cultures and economies. What's your next question, curious explorer?
I'm not curious explorer. My show name is Inspiring Mind, and my name is Mehtab Amibala. So you can call me like Inspiring Minds or whatever you mood because you said by my name also and my show name also. Okay.
Got it, inspiring mind. What's on your mind today?
Okay. So my next question with you is that what goods are were primarily trading along the Silk Road?
Along the Silk Road, the primary goods that were traded included silk, hence the name, spices such as cinnamon and pepper, precious metals like gold and silver, gemstones, textiles, ceramics, glassware, ivory, and agricultural products such as tea, rice, and fruits. These valuable commodities were in high demand across different regions, and their exchange along the Silk Road fueled economic growth, cultural exchange, and technological innovation. It's fascinating to think about the variety of goods that traveled along these ancient trade routes. What's your next question, curious mind?
Okay, so now explain me that how did the Silk Road contribute to cultural exchanges between East and West?
The Silk Road played a crucial role in facilitating cultural exchanges between the East and the West by connecting diverse civilizations and fostering the spread of ideas, beliefs, languages, art, and technologies. As goods and merchants traveled along the trade routes, they brought with them not only products but also cultural practices, philosophies, and religions. This cultural diffusion led to the blending of traditions, the sharing of knowledge, and the development of new artistic styles and intellectual movements. The Silk Road also served as a meeting point for people from different backgrounds, allowing for the exchange of languages, customs, and innovations that enriched the cultural landscapes of the regions it connected. It's amazing to see how this ancient trade network acted as a bridge between civilizations. What's your next question, cultural connoisseur?
Now explain me that what were the major cities along the Silk Road?
Some of the major cities along the Silk Road included Zion in China, Samarkand in Uzbekistan, Bukhara in Uzbekistan, Kafgar in China, Dunyuan in China, Baghdad in Iraq, Damascus in Syria, Antioch in Turkey, Constantinople, Istanbul in Turkey, and Venice in Italy. These cities served as important trade hubs, cultural centers, and meeting points for merchants, travelers, and scholars from different regions. They played a key role in facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies along the Silk Road, contributing to the flourishing of commerce and cultural diversity in ancient times. It's fascinating to think about the bustling cities that thrived along this historic trade route. What's your next question, history enthusiast?
Okay, so now explain me that how did the decline of the Silk Road affect global trade?
The decline of the Silk Road had a significant impact on global trade by disrupting the flow of goods, ideas, and technologies between East and West. As alternative sea routes became more popular and efficient, the overland trade routes of the Silk Road gradually lost their prominence, leading to a decline in trade activity along these ancient paths. This shift in trade patterns affected the economies of the regions connected by the Silk Road, causing some cities to decline in importance while others rose to prominence as new trade centers. The decline of the Silk Road also had cultural implications, as the exchange of knowledge and traditions that once flourished along these routes began to diminish. Despite its decline, the legacy of the Silk Road continues to influence global trade and cultural interactions to this day. It's interesting to see how changes in trade routes can shape the course of history. What's your next question, curious mind?
Okay, so now explain me that what role did the Silk Road play in the spread of religions?
The sacred played a crucial role in the spread of religions by serving as a powerful motivator for believers to share their faith with others and to establish religious communities in new regions. The sacred texts, rituals, symbols, and teachings of religions inspired followers to evangelize and proselytize, spreading their beliefs to different cultures and societies. Pilgrimages to sacred sites and the establishment of religious centers also helped disseminate religious practices and doctrines to a wider audience. The sacredness associated with religious beliefs created a sense of unity and belonging among believers, fostering a shared identity that transcended geographical boundaries and cultural differences. The spread of religions through the sacred not only shaped the spiritual landscape of the world but also influenced the development of art, architecture, literature, and social norms in diverse societies. It's fascinating to see how the sacred has been a driving force in the dissemination of religious beliefs. What's your next question, seeker of knowledge?
Okay, so now explain me that how did the Silk Road influence the art and architecture of connected regions?
It seems like there might have been a little mix up in your message. Could you please provide more context or clarify your question so I can better understand and help you out?
Okay, let's move to next question. And my next question with you is that what were the dangers of traveling the Silk Road?
Traveling the Silk Road posed various dangers for merchants, travelers, and caravans making the journey across vast and often treacherous terrains. Some of the dangers included the risk of bandit attacks, especially in remote and isolated regions where bandits could ambush trade caravans for their goods and valuables. Harsh weather conditions such as extreme heat, cold, sandstorms, and blizzards could also pose a threat to travelers, making the journey physically challenging and risky. Additionally, the lack of reliable maps, navigation tools, and infrastructure meant that travelers had to rely on local guides and their own survival skills to navigate unfamiliar territories. Disease outbreaks, food shortages, and water scarcity were other hazards that travelers faced along the Silk Road, especially in regions where resources were scarce. Despite these dangers, the lure of trade profits, cultural exchange, and adventure motivated many to brave the perils of the Silk Road in pursuit of their goals. It's incredible to think about the risks that ancient travelers took on this historic trade route. What's your next question, brave explorer?
Okay, so now explain me that how did the Mongol Empire impact the Silk Road?
The Mongol Empire had a significant impact on the Silk Road by promoting trade, cultural exchange, and communication across the vast territories under its rule. Under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, the Mongols established a vast empire that stretched from Asia to Europe, creating a unified and stable environment for trade to flourish. The Mongols implemented policies that facilitated the movement of goods and merchants along the Silk Road, ensuring the safety of trade caravans and reducing the risks of bandit attacks. They also promoted cultural exchange by encouraging the sharing of knowledge, technologies, and artistic traditions among the diverse peoples within their empire. The Mongols' extensive network of trade routes and diplomatic relations helped connect East and West, fostering economic growth and cultural interactions that benefited both regions. The Mongol Empire's influence on the Silk Road contributed to the expansion of global trade and the exchange of ideas during this period of history. It's fascinating to see how a powerful empire like the Mongols could shape the dynamics of trade and cultural exchange along the Silk Road. What's your next question, history buff?
Okay, so my next question with you is that what were the main ancient maritime trade routes?
Some of the main ancient maritime trade routes included the Mediterranean Sea trade routes connecting regions around the Mediterranean basin, the Indian Ocean trade routes linking East Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, and China, the Red Sea trade routes facilitating trade between Egypt, the Arabian Peninsula, and East Africa, the South China Sea trade routes connecting Southeast Asia, China, and the Indian subcontinent, and the Silk Route, which combined both overland and maritime trade connections between East and West. These maritime trade routes played a crucial role in the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures across different regions, contributing to the development of global trade networks and shaping the course of history. It's fascinating to explore the interconnectedness of ancient maritime trade routes and their impact on the world. What's your next question, curious explorer?
Okay, so now explain me that how did the ancient seafaring technology evolve to support maritime trade?
The ancient safering technology evolved to support maritime trade by improving navigation, communication, and safety for sailors and merchants traveling across the seas. Safering technology, also known as compasses, astrolabes, and navigational charts, help sailors determine their position at sea, plot their course, and navigate through unknown waters with greater accuracy. Compasses, which used magnetic properties to indicate direction, revolutionized maritime navigation by providing a reliable means of determining cardinal directions even when landmarks were not visible. Astrolabes were used to measure the altitude of celestial bodies, allowing sailors to calculate their latitude and position relative to the stars. Navigational charts, which depicted coastlines, currents, and navigational hazards, provided valuable information for planning sea voyages and avoiding potential dangers. These advancements in safering technology enabled sailors to undertake longer and more complex maritime journeys, expanding trade routes and facilitating cultural exchange between distant lands. It's fascinating to see how ancient technologies like compasses and astrolabes transformed the world of maritime trade. What's your next question, curious mind?
Okay, so my next question with you is that what role did the Indian Ocean play in ancient trade networks?
The Indian Ocean played a crucial role in ancient trade networks by serving as a maritime highway that connected diverse civilizations and facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between East Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, and China. The monsoon winds, which blew predictably across the Indian Ocean, allowed sailors to navigate between different regions with relative ease, enabling the establishment of thriving maritime trade routes. The Indian Ocean trade network was characterized by the exchange of luxury goods such as spices, textiles, precious metals, and gemstones, which were highly sought after in markets across Asia, Africa, and Europe. Ports and trading cities along the Indian Ocean coastlines, such as Alexandria, Aden, Calicut, Malacca, and Guangzhou, flourished as centers of commerce, attracting merchants from distant lands and fostering cultural interactions between diverse peoples. The Indian Ocean Trade Network played a significant role in shaping the economies, societies, and cultures of the regions it connected, contributing to the development of global trade networks and the spread of ideas and technologies across continents. It's amazing to see how the Indian Ocean served as a gateway for ancient trade and cultural exchange. What's your next question, history enthusiast?
Okay, so now explain me that how did monsoon wind facilitate trade in the Indian Ocean?
The monsoon winds played a crucial role in facilitating trade in the Indian Ocean by providing a reliable and predictable wind system that sailors could harness to navigate their ships between different regions. The monsoon winds, which changed direction with the seasonal shift between summer and winter, created a natural cycle of wind patterns that allowed sailors to plan their sea voyages more effectively. During the summer monsoon season, winds blew from the southwest, carrying ships from the Arabian Peninsula and East Africa towards the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. In contrast, the winter monsoon winds blew from the northeast, enabling ships to sail back to the Arabian Peninsula and East Africa. By timing their voyages to coincide with the monsoon seasons, sailors could take advantage of the favorable winds to travel long distances more quickly and safely, reducing the risks of getting lost or encountering adverse weather conditions. The monsoon winds transformed the Indian Ocean into a bustling maritime highway, connecting distant lands and fostering trade networks that span across continents. It's fascinating to see how ancient sailors use nature's rhythms to navigate the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean. What's your next question, curious explorer?
Okay, so now explain me that what is the significance of the Red Sea in ancient trade?
The Red Sea played a significant role in ancient trade due to its strategic location between Africa and Asia, connecting different regions and serving as a vital maritime route for trade and cultural exchange. The name Red Sea is believed to have originated from the presence of bacteria called Trichodosmium erythraeum, which can turn the seawater reddish-brown when they bloom in large quantities. This unique characteristic of the Red Sea has fascinated civilizations throughout history. The high salinity of the Red Sea, averaging about 40%, is due to factors like high evaporation rates, the region's hot climate, and the lack of freshwater rivers flowing into it. The warm temperatures of the Red Sea, ranging between 79 degf and E6 degf, also make it one of the warmest seas in the world. The Red Sea's location relative to the ancient Mediterranean world, to the south, also contributed to its significance in ancient trade networks. Overall, the Red Sea's geographical features, historical importance, and unique characteristics have made it a crucial hub for maritime trade and cultural interactions in antiquity.
Okay, so now explain me that how did maritime trade routes influence coastal city development?
Maritime trade routes had a significant impact on the development of coastal cities by fostering economic growth, cultural exchange, and urban expansion along the coastlines. Coastal cities situated along major trade routes became important hubs of commerce, attracting merchants, traders, and travelers from distant lands. The influx of goods, ideas, and people through maritime trade routes stimulated economic activity in coastal cities, leading to the establishment of markets, warehouses, and trading posts that facilitated the exchange of goods and services. The wealth generated from maritime trade contributed to the growth of urban centers, leading to the construction of infrastructure such as harbors, docks, and warehouses to support the handling and storage of goods. Coastal cities also became centers of cultural exchange, where diverse populations interacted, leading to the blending of languages, religions, and traditions. The prosperity brought by maritime trade routes enabled coastal cities to flourish, attracting artisans, craftsmen, and skilled laborers who contributed to the development of industries such as shipbuilding, textile production, and metalworking. Overall, maritime trade routes played a crucial role in shaping the growth and development of coastal cities, transforming them into vibrant centers of commerce, culture, and innovation.
Okay, so everyone, this is our interview. Maybe enjoy. If you enjoy, so hit the like button. And thanks for watching this interview. We will meet in the next interview with another, with another topic. Till then, Allah Hafiz.